I'm not hearing anything. Should I get a cue to start world feed commentary?
Nothing. World feed commentary is dead. They're not hearing anything.
I can hear it now. I can hear the.
Stop it.
No, you're two.
Dave Rennie brings a side packed with international experience in the sports ground. The back three, Stuart Hogg, Tommy Seymour, and DT Van der Merwe. Real threat. George Hearn and Adam Hastings are at half-back. Very youthful partnership, 23 respectively. Well, 3 wins in the pre-season friendlies. Makes his debut in the centre alongside Thomas Farrell, while Quaylen Blade and Jack Carty.
Want to use this one? Try that one.
Today's match referee is Ian Davies. Ollie Hodges is the TMO. Opening day here in Connacht of the Guinness PRO14 Championship. Look, hairstyle for Stuart Hogg, tight trim, and he will get the game underway. Glasgow in the sky blue shirts playing from left to right. Bright sunshine at the sports grounds. Are we in for a really open game? A little error at the start. Forward, it looks like Glasgow hand. Come away with the ball out of the 22. Both sides looking to make a big statement on this opening day. Wilson. To the 10-metre line. Reasonably quick recycling. He's going to step by Horn, the defence closed down. Good tackle comes in from Owen McKeown. Just had to get out of the way quickly there. First carry for him. Again, Glasgow go through the hands, looking to move it wide. Hogg, little chip into the 22. Tiernan O'Halloran has to turn and chase. He's going to win the race. Oh, it's a try right at the start, is it, for Van der Merwe? Beautiful chip ahead. Wonderful finish. Well, Michael Swift is alongside me. Michael, some start to this game.
Yeah, absolutely, and the conditions dictating the start of the game was some quick ruck ball and the Glasgow scoring in the corner. I think Tiernan O'Halloran was in two minds whether to come up, and in the end kind of got caught in no man's land, and in the end it was a race to the line, and Glasgow get off to the perfect start.
Yeah, kind bounce, but Van der Merwe is plenty of pace. And on the turn, no real chance for Healy and O'Halloran to get back.
Yeah, and looking at Connacht, the first kind of couple of phases in defence, you would have thought that it would have been a bit more aggressive, considering it's the start of the season. But they were a little bit passive, and it shows what, and Glasgow can show what they do on the back of a couple of quick executions, a quick ball.
Peter Warren, bright yellow or day-glow green boots. Judy, 5 metres in from the touchline. He was practicing from out here, and successfully earlier. That just drips to the left-hand side of the post and wide. But what a start for Glasgow.
Yeah, and Connacht, I suppose, will have to put that out of the back of their mind now and try and start afresh to build some momentum. Probably the worst start they could have hoped for. But now look, Jack Carty kicking off, and hopefully they'll, for their sake, they'll try not to regain.
Covered by Connacht. Dave Heffernan came racing through, just couldn't hold on to the ball. So a good chase up the touchline there to win it in the first effort.
Yeah, and the first scrum, listening during the week, Glasgow Warriors co-captain Ryan Wilson, he definitely said he placed a big emphasis this year on the Warriors set piece. So they'll be looking to make a big impression early on in this game against a Connacht front row which is full of experience.
Dave Heffernan and Finlay Beelan going up against Oliver Kebbell, George Turner, and Xander Fagerson. Well, quick ball away. Glasgow get the ball out the full width of the pitch. Hogg's coming around.
Yeah, worrying times early on. Glasgow are getting way too much easy yardage early on. Promising for Glasgow, but from a defensive point of view, Connacht will be looking to try and kind of improve the communication out wide.
Just a toe on the touchline from Hogg.
Yeah, lovely day today for conditions, so no excuses really for hopefully a successful line-out.
Oh, clean win, but pressure on Blade. Looks for a little gap, but he's swallowed up by sky blue shirts. No scrum half there, of course, at the back of the ruck when Blade is tackled with ball in hand. This is better from Connacht. Again, very quick from Glasgow. Great line speed. Kyle Godwin on his debut, showing a little bit of what he can do. Home crowd cheering him on. The ball moved wide now by Connacht. Oh, there's a little bit of space. Great break by Butler. Connacht into the 22. Support coming now. The ball is there. Lovely recycling. Well, there's a roar from the crowd. Was the ball knocked on deliberately, but they rumble on. Delan this time. Ball nicely presented. Glasgow looking to disrupt the ball at the breakdown. Godwin calls a change of direction. Oh, the pass was forward. And then an infringement on the ground, and a scrum turned into a penalty. A little bit of indiscipline from Connacht.
Yeah, that was much better play from Connacht. From Connacht's point of view, it's great to see the early interchanges between Kyle Godwin and Tom Farrell. And Tom Farrell starting off the season as he finished it last year. I think he was the offloaders in the PRO14, and a lovely little right-handed pass to Carl Godwin, his centre partner, that created the space for Connacht, but unfortunately they couldn't utilise and couldn't finish it off, and that was, I suppose, the last season was some of the issues that they were having. They created a lot of opportunities and just couldn't. The final killer passes we're seeing here from Omi Cohn just didn't go to hand. But a promising start now from Connacht, and hopefully they can, from their sake of view, they can build on it.
Glasgow winning good possession from the line, not getting a maul moving forwards. Connacht in fringe though, ball's there for Glasgow. Still the advantage as they throw the ball wide. Greg was coming onto it, attempt to flick the ball out of the back of the hand to Seymour. I said it was Van der Merwe scored, it was Seymour, of course, so the try scorer, former Ulster player. Well, they go back for the penalty. Jared Butler penalised for his entry to the maul.
Yeah, and referees this year are going to be heavily trying to pick up on that. They want to, in terms of the mauls, Jared Butler deemed Ian Davis there to come in from an offside position, and Glasgow now will be looking to kick the ball and find some touch and try and build some momentum.
Well, the last one, Hogg found good distance despite being tight to the touchline. He's 5 metres in again. We'll look to pump this one close to the 22-metre line. Didn't quite make the 22.
Yeah, as you can see there, Jared Butler coming in from a side angle and giving away a penalty.
Cummings, big jump and catch in the middle of the line. And Glasgow fancy trying the maul once again. Fagerson carrying at the base. Now the maul moved away, Horn. Well, the pass got to Hogg in midfield and he's swallowed up by green shirts. Did really well to just hold possession for a second or two so the support could come. Didn't cough up possession. Cummings into contact. Fagerson has to act as the scrum half, decides to pick and rumble around the corner. See, can he set up a better platform? Oliver Kebbell, the second prop forward on this occasion. Well, it doesn't quite go to hand, intercepted. Healy, lovely little pop-up off the ground. Heffernan coming in support. Heffernan, plenty of pace for a hooker. Delan avoided the first tackle but then brought to ground. Managed to release the ball. Connacht get it through their hands again. Both sides showing willing to get the ball wide early. Well, this Glasgow player was sure the ball was at. He got a shout no of the referee. Wilson not allowing Connacht to take it quickly.
Yeah, you can see the early influences there from under the guidance of Andy Friend from his Sevens background with Australia. Guys, forwards and backs, looking for soft shoulders, looking for the little offloads, and the quality of pass being excellent.
Ian Davies marches Glasgow back, brings the penalty to the 10-metre line. Jack Carty will try and punt this as close to the corner flag as he can. He's found touch. And the Connacht supporters willing the referee to stop moving away from the corner flag, but he's come out 12 metres maybe. Still great field position for Connacht.
Yeah, great opportunity now for Connacht to try and show some dominance here, whether it be a drive or deciding to go out wide to the backs. A lot of these times now they're using Jared Butler at the front.
Well, a little help from the touch judge coming in there as a penalty coming. Ollie Kebbell penalised for taking out the lifter.
Yeah, that's recently come in as the directive. Obviously, safety of paramount importance, and line-out can be a dangerous place. And with the laws now not being able to sack the lifter, obviously for good reason. If a lifter's taken out, it leaves the catcher of the ball very, very exposed. So a right decision there by Ian Davies.
Change of law you favour, no doubt, Michael?
Absolutely. Look, safety is of paramount importance, and you've seen it in the last 18 months that World Rugby have really taken this on board, and it's great to see.
Oh, the game getting so much exposure, so many new players coming into the game. Numbers growing everywhere. As Michael says, the safety really, really key.
Yeah, it's an important kick for Jack Carty this now. I think last year in the Pro14 he had a 75% kicking rate, and by his own standards it's probably not quite where he wants to be. So for his sake he'll be trying to up the ante this year in the stats.
Well, he would have practiced these over and over again. Just a slightly tricky angle for the right-footed kicker. Makes it look very, very simple though. Connacht onto the scoreboard. And a fair award for their efforts.
Yeah, and it's a good start to response now from Connacht, and Jack Carty will be delighted now to get on the score sheet and give Connacht the first 3 points. Interestingly here, Connacht are lining up in a restart with 4 pods of 2. It's an interesting tactic. It does leave you exposed out back, but it's kind of saying to the Glasgow kicker, well, you kick it long because we're covered up front.
Well, Hogg goes reasonably deep, but great height on it. Van der Merwe, just a little shove on the Connacht player who is waiting for the ball to drop.
Dave Rennie will be absolutely livid with that decision there by Van der Merwe. Connacht are in their 22 under pressure, and a very, very soft penalty that gives the ability now for Connacht to move on to the halfway line.
Yeah, Carty finds touch, didn't try to get too much out of it. It'll be a Connacht line out, half a metre short of the halfway. Van der Merwe might have been a little bit ahead as well when we get to see the replay.
Yeah, there was absolutely no way he was going to get the ball there.
Cannon wins in the line out, the ball back to Dave Heffernan at the base. Glasgow defending well. Blade has a little look down the blind side. Glasgow just attacking the broken play there to test out the player bridging over the ball. Make sure he is protecting the scrum half. Carty kicking back, sees good space. Van der Merwe was up, which way will it bounce? Van der Merwe doesn't quite get there now. This is where we might see the new law coming in, Michael.
Yeah, exactly. But look, great play there by Connacht, and I think in the last kind of couple of seasons, they may have been guilty a lot of possession, but not enough go-forward ball. So I think there's definitely an emphasis this year to bring a bit more physicality to the first kind of hit-up plays. And we saw it there by the forwards carrying it up, and Cian Kelleher out wide on the right wing looks very, very dangerous. By all accounts, he's had a fantastic pre-season, injury-free for a guy whose probably career has stalled a little bit in the last couple of years. Big expectations when he moved from Leinster a couple of years ago, with a bit of controversy at the time. But for him to get the nod ahead of Eddie Alokin today was a big nod from Andy Friend to say, to Cian, go out there and show me what you can do.
Owen McKeown looks to be in a bit of trouble here. Their makeshift strap, maybe the shoulder's gone, shake of the head. That's the end of his afternoon. Looks to be in a lot of discomfort.
Oh, that's just hugely disappointing for Owen McKeown. You have a whole pre-season tough week in, day out, and to get injured, which looks a pretty serious injury in the first game, in the first 15 minutes of your first game, is hugely disappointing for the guy.
Gallagher in. Heffernan coming on the loop. Oh, there's penalties coming again here for Connacht. They're inside 10 metres. Advantage still being played. They're up to 6 metres out. Carty almost slipped away from the tackle. Second tackler arrived. Beelum on the burst. The ball squirts loose. It's gone backwards. Connacht still have it. Look to find a hole in the defence going the other direction. Jared Butler dipped the shoulder but couldn't quite find a way through. Crossfield kick to... Oh, it's going to be a try for Connacht. Cian Kelleher stayed wide. Carty spotted him. Clever play. Well, Halloran was out, was it? the man out wide.
Yeah, a lovely bit of vision there in Cian Kelleher opening the score sheet, but a lot of patience shown by Connacht. With a little bit of sprinkling of bloody little offloading game as well. Once again, Jared Butler that started the move, the option of the line out. I think that's his second take, and he's turning into quite a safe pair of hands at the front of the line out. Jack Carty almost made it, decided to not go for the try line, brought it back, and a couple of hit-ups later, and it was a great bit of vision that the Glasgow defence had been sucked in, and an easy score for Cian Kelleher.
And had the presence of mind to just come in field a bit, make the conversion that bit easier.
Yeah, and from Glasgow's point of view, they've been, I suppose, a bit guilty of what Connacht were in the first couple of minutes, a bit passive in defence, and rather than meeting the attacker on the gain line, soaking away, letting the Connacht players get over the gain line, and we can see what can happen with the vision of Jack Carty.
And Carty, similar position to his penalty, a little bit nearer the line of the posts. No mistake again from Carty, and good recovery for Connacht. Try for Cian Kelleher, and they open a 5-point gap.
Yeah, Jack Carty, he always has that vision. He's never shy in confidence to try the cross-field kicks, and when it comes off like that, it's an easy score for Cian Kelleher. But for Glasgow now, they'll be hoping to put some pressure now on this restart and not give away any silly penalties like they did in the previous occasion.
Well, Hogg certainly gives the chasers a chance. He gets great height and hang time on these dropouts. There we go again. Oh, Van der Merwe definitely had a chance of getting the ball that time and got hands to it. Line out taken quickly by Glasgow, looking to spin, catch Connacht off guard, but the Connacht defence swept across. Kebbel, lovely little pop-up pass. Hastings, is there a man over here? Van der Merwe racing into the 22. Oh, good chasing tackle. Ball bobbled around loose. Referee perfectly placed. Didn't go forward. Rob Harley was the first one in support. Glasgow, great response now to that Connacht score. Can they turn it into points on the board? Just trying to turn the ball, slow ball into quick ball, and the space opens up. George Turner saw his opportunity and raced away unopposed. Where were the Connacht defence?
Yeah, and Peter Wilkins, the defence coach for Connacht Rugby, will be absolutely livid there. You know, it's a golden rule. If there's a ruck formed, you sort out your pillar and your A defender first of all, and then build from inside out. But to be fair to George Turner, he saw the opportunity and scored. And you know, he has a sniff for the try line. I think he scored 4 tries in 19 appearances last year, so that's not a bad strike rate for your hooker. I think the reason, because it's such a quick ball generated, that Connacht were trying to get into position, but as I said, because of the execution of the ruck was so efficient by the Glasgow players, and there was just no opportunity to get there.
Well, less than 20 minutes on the clock, 3 tries scored. Sides level on 10 points. Horn has this conversion opportunity to put the visitors 2 points in front. Yeah, good kick from Horn. Missed the first conversion from way out wide, but gets that one. Glasgow in front again.
Yeah, and look, when you play against Glasgow, you know they're going to be brutally efficient at the breakdown. They always try and manipulate a ruck and create quick ball with the minimum of players. And you saw there was a fantastic clear out. I'm not sure who it was by, but it just allowed George Turner the open up the space to score the try.
Little change of direction from Carty. Van der Merwe was aware. Horn, George Horn that is, trying to sneak down the blind side, but a foot in touch. His brother Peter playing in the centre.
But 20 minutes in, you can see the conditions are really dictating the type of game we're seeing today, and it's fantastic from a neutral point of view. Free-flowing rugby, which is what the crowd have come to see. Connacht have changed their line out a little bit here.
Gray got a hand in, but it's been won by Connacht under a little bit of pressure. Whoa, played. Fumble, but he kept his eye on the ball. Good strength from Thomas Farrell. A little bit of crawling along the ground with the ball and popped up nicely to Paul Boyle. Academy player. He settled in well though to the game of this level. O'Halloran into the line from fullback. Stopped on the 22. Oh, Blade struggling a little bit. Glasgow slowed it right down here. Blade in 2 minds. Goes to Delan. Accelerating into 2 tacklers. And Blade wins the penalty and taps and takes quickly, but doesn't find support with the pass. Healy scooping the ball off the ground. Blade under pressure. Oh, regretting now not taking the shot at goal, I'm sure. Well, can he retain that decision? Can Connacht and his teammates help? There's another penalty coming. Carty nearly got isolated, but good body position. O'Halloran, great feet from him, charging into Hogg. Oh, there's a lot of penalties counting here. Oh, what a take from Beelum, and he's in. What brilliant play. Oh, more like a back row or a centre from Beelum. Came on a brilliant line, and the big smiles in the crowd of the sports ground.
Yeah, it was a lovely pass by Caelan Blade. From a Glasgow point of view, it was your worst nightmare because from the defender's point of view, in your vision, you had Alton Delan running at you. And because Beelum was just beside him, the defender didn't know who was going to get the ball, and Beelum ran a fantastic line and scored, in the end, a really easy try. Yeah, you just saw there, the defender was just drawn in to Alton Delan. Lovely little movement. And from that, I think it was the second row, Scott Cummins. And from that, there was no stopping Finlay Beelum from there with a clear run-in. But, you know, the attack all came from Tom Farrell, who made some hard yards there with a leg drive. And he was been outstanding last year for Connacht. I think it was their Player of the Year. And, you know, he has been touted as a potential bolter for for Joe Smith's World Cup squad.
Yeah, I guess if you're the defence and you see Alton Delan and Finlay Beelum, you're going to assume it'll be Delan will take the ball.
Well, that's it exactly, and that's what you want. You want multiple options from a scrum half point of view. Caelan Blade, you know, maybe he even was passing for Alton Delan there, but in the end it went to Finlay Beelum, who had a clear run-in.
Well, different style of kick that time from Carty, but just as effective. Beelum's try converted, and Connacht, great response. 5 points in the lead again.
Yeah, and if you're Dave Rennie, you'll be scratching your head really. They started so positively, but the defence has really let them down. And as I said, that unusually for them, their aggression around the breakdown in defence has been lacking, and Connacht's ability to generate quick ball, we can see how dangerous the backs can be.
Oh, Van der Merwe gets up and wins this time. Lovely little handoff. Was it forward? No, touch judge right in place. Caelan Blade is
we've looked good with
peeling.
the ball at times. I think we, when we show a bit of patience, we're really working hard for our scores. We've let them in for 2 soft ones, which is disappointing. But you know, if we can keep our hands on the ball, play with that tempo and the intensity that we are showing at the moment, then you know, it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Had to rip it out. Hogg in the line. Thought about the pass. But the defence had the attack outnumbered on that occasion, so Hogg made the right decision, set up another platform, patient play from him. Crossfield kick comes, Kelleher has to get up, Van der Merwe came in. Well, there's no one at home, long clearance Stanfield. It stayed in play. Oh, slow chase from Connacht. Was that touch to hand? The attempted block down. It's a way to touch anyway.
Yeah, both 10s are seeing the crossfield kick as an option today, but on that occasion, Cian Kelleher saw that coming, even though it was a low trajectory kick, managed to put enough pressure on Van der Merwe, and it fell nicely for Tiernan O'Halloran to gain about 70 metres.
The director. Yeah. It's not saying anything to me, though. Line out now for Connacht just in the Glasgow half. Cannon rises and wins. Well, the defence read that one. Kelleher coming in from the right wing. No, Heffernan right on the gain line, taking the pass on the burst. Blade has to rummage to get the ball out, does so. Buckley soft pass, but again well read. Shout of them all came. Now they go to ground. Which way will the decision go? Yeah, carried in. Connacht just couldn't get the ball out quickly enough. Good work from Johnny Gray.
Yeah, despite the efforts of Dave Heffernan, who made a great run just previous to that, it hit James Cannon, and I think, you know, James Cannon, he has a very strong attributes in the game, and he dictates and controls the line out very well. But as a ball carrier, sometimes he can get caught high, and we saw there he was wrapped up by Johnny Gray and Scott Cummings there, textbook wise, and there's only going to be one outcome there. When it don't have to roll away when the move's called, it's a great turnover for Glasgow in a fantastic position with both left and right options available.
Yeah, Buckley's quick hands, if anything, put more pressure on Cannon than less, and Johnny Gray was able to flick off the tackle on Buckley and concentrate on the new ball carrier Cannon and win the turnover. Penalty, front rows go down.
Yeah, Dennis Buckley wasn't giving a good picture there. It's all about how you're showing yourself division to the referee, and Ian Davis deemed Dennis Buckley's position there to be wrong and guilty of collapsing the scrum. But interestingly, Hogg deciding not to go for the 3 points. The way he was striking him in the warm-up suggests that he might have had the distance, but they decided against it and have gone for an attacking line out in the Connacht 22.
Well, it really is end-to-end stuff. 2 tries apiece so far. Gray rises and wins. Connacht have managed to put him to ground. Referee not showing any signs that it was illegally, but Glasgow recover and get them all moving again. It's losing its shape slightly. There's appeals for the ball knocked on. Came off a green shirt of Paul Boyle. Scrum advantage. Well, advantage over now. Glasgow are playing real time. On the rumble, going infield here. Now they look to inject a bit of pace. Oh, just 3 meters short now. Wilson wants it. Fagerson is on his shoulder. Here's Wilson. Couldn't quite stretch and touch it down on the line. Harley. Good tackles come in, but the ball recycled. Is there an opportunity? Oh, Connacht. Oh, it's just throw the bodies on the line here. Can they hold it out? Well, the ball pops out. Well, it's a penalty. I think timeout. Are they going to go to the TMO here?
Yeah, for all Glasgow's expansive ambitions, they decided to go back to basics there with great effect, just to test the Connacht forwards up front. And we'll have to wait and see whether they got the touchdown or not.
Oh, Ian Davies having a few words with Johnny Gray, but all in good humour.
Well, for a big man, he got down very well. But the question is, did he get down with pressure? And we can't see from that angle, so...
It's hard to see the line here. Got to think the defender's feet are on the line. Carl Goodwin got in to whip the ball out. I don't think that can be awarded.
Well, Ian Davis did ask the question, is it try, yes or no?
Johnny Gray might be the only one, or Carl Goodwin may know whether it was really a try.
And Finlay Beelan will be breathing a sigh of relief. It was his missed tackle that let Johnny Gray almost score the try. as I said, for a big man, and Johnny Gray did very well to try and get down as low as possible, but unfortunately it was inconclusive. But second best alternative, Glasgow have an attacking scrum in a great position.
Well, this will be a real test of the Connacht resolve now. Loads of options. And go either side, keep it at the feet of the number 8, and try and drive Connacht over. Well, this passage of play all started from a penalty from a scrum at halfway, so Connacht will feel confident. And here comes the shove. Referee's arm is out again. Penalty. Greg tackled, driven to the ground.
Yeah, that was a strong scrum there by Xander Ferguson, putting Dennis Buckley under pressure, and he just twisted, and Dennis Buckley's hips there unfortunately just came out to the left, and once that happens there's only going to be one winner, and Glasgow, seeing a sniff of blood here, they've decided to go for another scrum.
2 penalties at scrum time against Buckley. Often though the referees, after he gives penalties against one team scrummaging, the next one goes the other way.
Yeah,
that'll be the Connacht hope.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of interpretation with referees, and it's that picture that you paint for him. But Dennis Buckley's under pressure, and after the last one, so it'd be interesting to see how he gets on here.
Back to the feet of Wilson once again. Horn peels away. It's better from Connacht. Oh, they just lose their shape again. Heads coming up to see what's happening, and they drive over. Glasgow have to go again here. There's no point in this time opting to take 3.
Absolutely, and from it's worrying times for the front row there from Connacht, and a very experienced front row at that. And Jimmy Duffy, the forwards coach, will be scratching his head, wondering what's happening here, because as I said, there's a lot of experience there. 2 of them, Dave Heffernan and Finlay Beelan, being internationals, and Dennis Buckley a few times been in the extended squad. But they're coming up against a strong Glasgow front row today.
Gerard Butler, the Connacht captain, just taking an opportunity to have a word or two with the referee, Ian Davies. Anything is worth trying at this sort of point. Just get some doubt in the referee's head, maybe, that all the infringements aren't by Connacht. Glasgow told to use the ball. Little switch. Horn, Peter Horn that is. Coming back against the grain of the running, ran straight into defenders. Connacht supporters roaring on their team here. It's been brave defence. Can they hold out this time? No. There's the touchdown. Yes, it is. Well, it was just too much pressure coming from Glasgow. Try number 3 from the visitors. Ryan Wilson gets the congratulations from his teammates.
Yeah, the co-captain Ryan Wilson, who's sharing that responsibility this year with Gibbons. But yeah, Connacht's point of view, they managed to withhold the scrum. But again, from Glasgow's forwards, quickly escaped the scrum and got into attacking positions and a couple of hit-ups. And as I said, it goes against Glasgow's kind of expansive ambitions. But they won't mind one iota, because they've scored 2 tries from very direct play.
Well, the co-captain Callum Gibbons was there, helping to drag Ryan Wilson over the line.
Yeah, there was about 3 Glasgow players, and it's almost like the Connacht defence didn't know who had the ball there. And Wilson just span out and had a free run into the line.
Peter Horn with a conversion attempt. Oh, they hurried that one a little bit and pulled it. Let off for Connacht.
And I see Jack Carty was trying to be a bit too clever there and trying to take a quick restart, but Ian Davis kindly reminding him that he was using a different ball.
Van der Merwe takes Kelleher up with the tackle. Connacht 17, Glasgow 17, following that Wilson try. And Glasgow conceding a penalty, silly mistake.
Yeah, the Glasgow player there being too overeager and trying to clear what was in front of them. You know, it's all well and good just clearing out the ruck and the defenders in front of you, but when you take it past the ruck area, you're not allowed to do that, and Ian Davis was quick to spot it. Yeah, he's up against Harley there. I think it might be slightly harsh on Harley. You know, Jared Butler was trying to move into a position to poach the ball, but Ian Davis deemed him to clear out too far, and on the back of that, it gives Jack Carty an opportunity to put Connacht ahead again.
Wonder what goes through his head. It's his fourth kick from almost an identical position. Is he just getting more and more confident, or does the mind begin to say, I'm going to miss one of these? He's taking a little bit more time, getting the ball right on the tee. But all three kicks so far, kind of within a 4-meter circle of where this one is. All three so far have been good. Yeah, good again from Carty. A little bit clearer to the crowd than on the camera angle, but Carty makes no mistake.
Gary, yeah, you can see that Connacht are fighting.
It was, but again, it was from a mistake from Glasgow's own doing. But now with 5 minutes to go, I mean, possession-wise, I think Connacht have 51 to Glasgow's 49%. So you can see, and that's reflected in the scoreboard. But Glasgow now will be looking to try and get back on the score sheet before the half.
Heffernan just took his eye off the ball as it came down. Knock-on advantage for Glasgow, so error from the restart.
Yeah, and Connacht will be disappointed now. That's probably the third restart that they've been unable to recoup, and it's such an important time of the game. You know, after you've just scored, to try and consolidate and get back down into the opponent's half. But unfortunately for Connacht, it's been sloppy play and an unforced error there with a knock-on, and giving Glasgow again an opportunity to attack from a scrum that's been very dominant, you have to say, so far.
Connacht leading 20 points to 17 going into the final 5 minutes of the first half.
Here in Glasgow, we'll be looking to try and exert some more dominance in the front row through Ferguson.
Yeah, solid from Connacht on that occasion. Van der Merwe in off the wing. Good leg drive from the winger once he hit contact. Johnny Gray, important tackle. Paul Boyle there to take the big second row low, but there's men wide here out to Seymour. O'Halloran gets across. And support came for the tackle. Turner, try scorer for Glasgow. Couldn't find a way through on that occasion. Infield to his front row partner, Oliver Kebbell. 3 front rowers for Glasgow look very, very good in the loose, but that time the ball snaffled. Deep inside the 22, Connacht get in and turn it over. It's been taken quickly. Farrell tackled a little bit awkwardly. Connacht having to commit a lot of players there to the breakdown to win the ball back. Beelum, the ball's gone loose and the tackle. Turner onto it. Gray brought down 5 meters short of the line. Oh, Wilson received the ball, was tackled quickly. Glasgow with a little bit more depth this time, but tried to get all the way wide when they were probably better going through the hands. Carty. Matt Healy was the one out wide. Had to jump for the ball and was then open for the tackle, but Connacht get the ball back. Carty under a little bit of pressure, a little fumble from the pass from Beelan, but he finds the safety a touch through the relief of the Connacht support.
Yeah, I think Carty was in two minds there. He knew he was under pressure, that the Connacht weren't really going anywhere, but he knew Cian Kelleher was out wide, and it was a kind of kick in between, really. It was too far for Kelleher to chase, and because the kick was too low, and he finds touch, but a couple of unforced errors by both teams. If we go back to Kebbell made a great break, and unfortunately Harley wasn't efficient enough in the breakdown to secure the ruck, and a turnover from Connacht. But then I think it was Beelan with another unforced error on your own 22, which is a cardinal sin these days, especially with the attacking prowess that Glasgow have. But I've been very impressed with George Turner so far. He's been strong in the scrum, and in terms of his carries, he's always getting over the gain line, and obviously has one try to his name.
Yeah, both teams playing really exciting rugby. And this beautiful setting on Galway Bay. Time for one last play before the break. Oh, it's all the way over the top. Butler the one alert at the back. Adam Hastings got a pinned one ankle to the ground. Butler couldn't step away.
Yeah, and Glasgow would have been disappointed there. They actually had put Gibbons in at scrum half in the line out, so they were either going to maul it, or they had an intricate play, maybe to try and target the back of the Connacht line out. But unfortunately for the Warriors, it was overthrown, and Jared Butler said thank you very much.
Carty with a penalty, trying to seek out the touch judge inside the 22. He does that. That's a great kick.
Yeah, Cian Kelleher came in early doors, and I think he's done very well from Connacht's point of view, especially considering it was Owen McKeown came off quite early injured. But there's higher hopes for Cian Kelleher. He can play either in the back row or the second row. A big frame on him.
Oh, the ball stolen in the line out. George Horn whips around. Gets the pass away to his brother under his own posts. Kick half blocked down. Penalty for offside. He appeals that it came off a Connacht player, which it did. But as Ian Davies points out, doesn't matter, he was offside when it was kicked.
Yeah, he's saying that Horn was offside. He was in an offside position before the ball was kicked. So unfortunate for Glasgow Warriors. But look, for Connacht's point of view, a great bit of effort there to charge the ball down, and it looks like Connacht are going to go for another 3 points. Last play of the game, at the half, sorry.
Yeah, they're appealing to the referee.
And I'm not sure if that's wise by Peter Horn questioning Ian Davis after he's made a decision, and Ian Davis politely saying, I'm 100% sure.
Well, his little brother was offside though.
That's one thing you learn. Referees will very rarely change their mind once they've made a decision, and there's no point arguing.
Oh, Carty. It's kicking well in this first half. Chance to stretch the lead to 6 points. First one from the left-hand side from Carty. He makes no mistake. Ian Davies blows the half-time whistle. And in bright sunshine, Connacht go in marginally in front. It's been an excellent first half, Michael.
It has. A strange one. A great start by Glasgow, scoring after a minute. But then Connacht came back and started to show some build some phases and show what they can do. But definitely in the second half, Glasgow will be targeting the scrum. and also around the ruck area, because their forwards are doing very well in the loose.
Half time at the sports ground. Connacht 23, Glasgow 17.
Oh, because we see more just around. Excellent. Good luck with the conversion. I
think what it ended up was
just careful father.
I hit my mic and your headphones. Right?
Okay, so I think you just got a number of the mics.
Yeah.
Just put a label on the what's the situation? What can you hear?
I can hear everything now.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I started, I couldn't hear John. He couldn't hear the feed.
Yeah.
Still got advantage, free play. Advantage over. Still got advantage, free play. Advantage over. Still got advantage, free play. Advantage over.
You're very welcome back to the Sports Grant. Connacht side out. There's their captain, Jared Butler. He'll be happy with things, the way things have gone so far. They lead 23 points to 17. How do they approach the second half, Michael?
Yeah, it's for Connacht. I mean, they'll be focusing on trying to improve the scrum, obviously. Also, in terms of the penalties conceded, they conceded 6, whereas Glasgow conceded 9. So, from Glasgow's point of view, you know, they're to be trying to reduce that penalty count. That was just basically too much in the first half. But for Glasgow, the main thing was 12 missed tackles compared to Connacht's 3. And if Glasgow have any chance of winning this game, they're going to have to bring that stat down massively.
Yeah, the referee let the game run well. There was lots of pile-up of penalties and penalties during advantages inside the 222s. It resulted in a couple of scores, but Ian Davies let things run well. Jack Carty's having a good afternoon with the boot, 5 from 5 in the first half as he gets this second half underway. And George Horn having to stretch for that Wilson pass a little bit. O'Halloran waiting for the little grubber kick through. That was a good defensive line. O'Halloran. Carty throwing it all the way wide. There's a little bit of space out there. And Healy doesn't need much space. Advances into the 22. Blade gets the ball away. Pull back. Farrell. O'Halloran had to use the boot. Good skills to control the ball and hold on to possession. A couple of sky blue shirts bearing down on Tiernan O'Halloran. Buckley now. Oh, a little bit of space for Godwin maybe. Closed down quickly. Good tackle by Fagerson. Blade just tempting Horn into a little bit of a rash decision.
Yeah, that was the first opportunity that the Connacht supporters got to see Matt Healy attacking. You know, when he gets the ball in a little bit of space, he has electric pace to really kind of put the opposition under pressure. But it all came about from a very strange kick from Glasgow. Just a grubber kick that was just basically handed the ball back to Connacht on a plate, and right in the centre of the pitch that Halloran exploited massively, really. And again, we talk about the penalty count, and once again, it's a penalty that could easily have been avoided from Glasgow's point of view, and gives the opportunity for Jack Carty to increase Connacht's lead.
Here you see how threatening Healy can be out wide. Strength and good feet and pace. And good effort from the prop forward Fagerson to get there. That's nice from O'Halloran. Watched it all the way. That's the thing, there was players coming in, but he never took his eye off the ball. Very easy to look up at the tackler.
Yeah, and Tiernan O'Halloran is one of those guys who seems to be good at every sport he tries, soccer, whether it's soccer or GEA or anything he puts his mind to it.
Carty. Well, can he continue where he left off at half-time? 5 from 5 in the first half. Sends that one on its way. He's got under it a little bit, but it has plenty of distance. Good kick. And Glasgow stretched that lead.
Yeah, and we talk about the confidence for Jack Carty in his kicking percentages, and being 6 from 6, albeit in a day where conditions favours kicking from feet. He'd be delighted with that. But once again, Glasgow, unforced error, giving away a stupid penalty for offside when the 9 thought the ball was out, and we'll be hoping to rectify this.
Great height on the restart. Connacht deal with it well this time. Dave Heffernan securing possession for the home team. Buckley running into a big tackle from Johnny Gray. The bolted Butler just a little bit forward.
And again, an unforced error in your own 22, and both teams have been guilty of it so far in this game. And I think Ian Davis has called for a foul play there on possibly Finlay Bealham coming in with the shoulder on, I think it's Johnny Gray, who was lying on the floor.
Yeah, the ball was dislodged, just bubbled about, came forward off Bealham's arm, but did Bealham connect with Johnny Gray? Water carriers on as well, badly needed, a lovely warm day. Sun shining brightly, hardly a puff of wind, roasting up here in the commentary position.
Yeah, and obviously there was no foul play there deemed by Ian Davis. It was just shown on the highlight reel there. But once again, now scrums were beneficial to Glasgow in the first half, and Connacht now will be keen to try and get a more positive scrum in the start of the second half.
3 men lined up straight behind the scrum. They split. They go to the narrow side. Adam Hastings. Great play by him, but eventually forced into touch. Lazy sort of running, but very effective.
Yeah, you could see there with the 3 lined up behind each other, the Glasgow players, it put a lot of doubt into the minds of Tom Farrell and Caelan Blade, and a really good bit of play there by the 9. He just faked to go right. Tom Farrell just stepped off his right foot to come in, and when the ball was released out wide, he was just in a bad position, but recovered well and made the tackle in the corner.
Shortened line from Connacht. They secure possession. They now have to set up the platform to clear. Oh, silly from Glasgow, all offside. Conceded penalty, let Connacht escape the 22 easily now.
And I sound like a broken record here, but once again, Dave Rennie will be absolutely livid with the team. There's absolutely no reason from a set piece to be deemed offside.
Kick just sliced a little bit. It's found the safety a touch all right, but not out to the 10-metre line. Short line again. Butler, big hit come in from Harley, but Butler rode the challenge. Oh, quick hands from Connacht. Heffernan is out there. Strength from him. Good leg drive. Buckley driving into the tackle. Glasgow player loitering offside, but Davies not interested. Farrell, a little roll to protect the ball. Blade brings Connacht to this right-hand side once again. And that's Kyle Godwin. Oh, Delan is Gray in for the poach. Yes, he is. Just turnover ball. Gibbons ducking out of one tackle. Still the advantage for Glasgow. Oh, lovely flat pass. Cummings coming onto it. Oh, tried to pop it up out of the tackle. It was a free play for Glasgow.
Yeah, and before Delan got turned over there, it was a lovely little snapshot of what kind of game plan that Connacht are trying to implement this year. High tempo, forwards interchanging with backs, even coming from the start of the line-out with Finlay Bealham taking the easy option and passing the ball to the scrum half, and a lovely carry by Jared Butler, who's been very inspirational today in his new role as Connacht captain. Obviously, following in the footsteps of Connacht legend John Muldoon, it's no easy feat, but I think he's played very well up to date so far.
There's the poach. Gray in great body position.
Yeah, for a big man to get down so low in that position, it's a great skill to execute.
Well, Andy Friend, first experience of a packed full house at the sports ground. First experience of the glorious weather you always get here.
I don't know what, yeah, of course, I know what you're referring to. It's always beautiful sunshine in the west of Ireland, as it is in Glasgow as well. But Glasgow here calling a full line out, and it'd be interesting to see. They've got some good yards from the mauls in the first half, so we'll have to see.
Well, it went to Wilson, but Connacht got a hand in. Wilson couldn't control it, and Connacht react first, turn over the ball. Heffernan. No way through. And again, a little bit of indiscipline from Johnny Gray.
Yeah, and a lot of the penalties that Glasgow have come away with this year are around this game have been around the breakdown, and Ian Davis is getting sick of this now because they're mounting up. And I think from Connacht's point of view, you can just see they've upped the ante in terms of the ball carriers. Jared Butler, Dave Heffernan. In the first half they were carrying, but in the second half just a bit more of a purpose and just the ambition to create quicker ball, to see what the Connacht backs can do. But from Glasgow's point of view, they absolutely need to cut these penalties out, because there's no way they're going to win this game on the back of that.
Must be difficult for a second row, and he sees the opportunity to scrag the scrum half to pass it up.
Exactly. But unfortunately, in this day and age, the statistics are there's no hiding place, and when you're trying to build momentum, it's very difficult to do so when you're giving away penalties every couple of minutes. And now Connacht are bringing on Irish international Quinn Roux to add some ballast to the scrum. No doubt he'll be packing down on the tight head side to give some support to Finlay Bealham.
Fraser Brand coming on for Glasgow, as is their new signing Nick Frisby to make his competitive debut. Australian international, that's him, number 21.
Yeah, in Glasgow in the summer, they were fairly quiet in the transfer market. Obviously lost a couple of players of note, but Frisby coming in from the Queens and Reds, and now an opportunity to show what he can do.
In for George Horn at scrum half. Lovely little reverse pass, but it was well read. Healy coming in from the wing. Blade tries a little chip over the top. There's plenty of blue shirts back there. Hogg, so much experience, sees a little bit of space. Nice chip over the top. Which way is it going to bounce? Oh, it bounces, kicks again. Clever play. Beautiful work from Stuart Hogg, and he's pushed Connacht back to the 22.
Yeah, you just saw there why Stuart Hogg twice tore us with the British and Irish lines. Originally came from a really good kick, clever kick by Caelan Blaine, seeing that no one was back home, but Hogg was quickest to react. Little chip kick, saw that there was Connacht were disjointed in defence, knew there was no option to pass the ball and just hooped the ball downfield and gained another 50 metres. So from being in their own 22 deep, they're now camped in the Connacht 22.
And Hogg will be willing a side on to turn this field position into a score. Delan rises. Oh, show the quick pass. Kelleher racing up to halfway. Oh, great work by the substitute hooker, Fraser Brand, to get back. Look to dive in to try and snaffle possession then. Farrell. Oh, lovely little release. Back to Paul Boyle. Great stuff from Connacht up to the 22 now. Good protection, Butler. Can Connacht move it quickly? Delan driving into the tackles. Feld on the 22. Blade comes in. Into the hands of Gallagher. He stopped just on that 22-metre line. Good defence from Glasgow. They've reorganised here. O'Halloran in the line. Glasgow, super line speed. They've snuffed out this challenge. Connacht will have to start again. They do with Delan. Quinrue just into the action. Good carry from him. Carty, O'Heffernan breaks one tackle. Doesn't get away from Johnny Gray though. Oh, it's great work. Just hit one of the Connacht players, didn't go forward, and wonderful work to pick it off the ground. Delan can't quite find the man. Carty under a little bit of pressure. Fagerson in there, making a nuisance of himself. He's had a huge game for Glasgow. Quinrue now looking to stamp a bit of authority on the game. Letting the coach know he's willing to make himself available for selection in the starting 15. Would have been happy to be left on the bench. Oh, Fraser Brand's all over that, but he's not on it, bearing his own weight. He was cleared out eventually. It just slips away. Carty was looking for the crossfield kick. And then the knock-on's turned into a penalty. Great defence from Glasgow. Great
defence in the end, but leading up to that, we saw some great illustrations of the kind of high-tempo game that Connacht are trying to play. All started in their own 22 from a snipe by Caelan Blade to Cian Kelleher, and some great runs by Dave Heffernan as well. But once again,
well, shape to go to touch. Hogg decided to tap. Ball's a little bit low for Grigg. It's been knocked on. Advantage Connacht here. Gallagher gets it away to Buckley. He couldn't get the pass away. That's another penalty. Sorry, it's another advantage for knock-on. They go back for the first one, scrum Connacht.
Yeah, and if you're going to take a quick tap and go, you've got to be 99.9% confident that you're going to get a gain from it. And unfortunately for Glasgow, it was not to be. So instead of potentially going for 3 points or kicking to the corner and putting pressure from a pretty successful maul, they've handed the ball back to Connacht.
9 points behind. I sort of think their mentality has to be get downfield, get within 7 at least.
Yeah, they're their own worst enemy really, the Warriors so far in the second half. And as I said, Dave Rennie will be pretty livid at some of the decision making that's going on by some of the senior players really.
Making a change. Scott Cummins is heading off. Chris Vasaro coming in. They might send Harley into the second row.
Yeah, some changes by both teams, and today the scrum has been fairly successful for Glasgow. Second half, Connacht have kind of ballasted it, and with the addition of Quinn Rue, who's very highly thought of by Joe Schmidt as a right-hand tight head second row. It has added some ballast to the scrum.
Yeah, good scrum from Connacht this time. Well, they're all standing up now. Penalty Connacht.
Yeah, you can see there the front row are showing their appreciation to the two second rows, Alton Delan and Quinn Rue there. Some fantastic weight getting brought forward to the front row and ultimately leading to a Connacht penalty.
Carty, a little bit of slice again on the kick from hand. Oh, more changes being made ready for Connacht. Peter McCabe, Nia Adialokan coming on.
Yeah, surprised to see Tiernan O'Halloran going off. Maybe he's carrying something that we're not aware of. But a great opportunity in great conditions for Nia Adialokan to come on, and we can see the speed of this guy possesses, and conditions like today, the Connacht crowd will be hoping to see him running in some open space.
Cian Kelleher presumably will go to fullback. Scrappy maul, and it's not coming out of there. It's turned over by Glasgow. Very good work in defence.
Yeah, you look for momentum changes, and the Glasgow pack will be absolutely delighted with that. And you can see Stuart Hogg going over to congratulate his forwards there, because he knows how how much work they put in there to turn the ball over. And as I said, your momentum changes kind of have been on the front foot this half, and Glasgow really haven't got out of second gear. So who knows, something like that may kind of shape them into something more productive as time goes on.
Finlay Beelum receiving some attention. Glasgow have made a change on the wing. DTH van der Merwe making way for Nika Madawalu.
And you talk about game changers. Madawalu is absolutely epitomised that type of player. You never know what he's going to do, and sometimes I'm sure he doesn't even know what he's doing himself, but on his day, it's an absolute world beater. Yeah, inevitably with the introduction of a couple of new additions to the front row, the scrums are having to reset on a couple of occasions. But big opportunity here for Peter McCabe. Impressed well last year and got himself a full contract for Connacht.
Yeah, McCabe in the front row for Connacht. Fraser Brown in for Glasgow. Referee being patient with a new man in. Glasgow getting a bit of a shunt on. And they get the penalty. Good work. So two little battles won by the Glasgow pack in quick succession. Don't think Hogg will take a little tap penalty this time.
Yeah, McCabe seems to be a little bit under pressure there, and I think from his hips point of view, they weren't probably in an optimal position when he actually made the impact on the hit. But yeah, now Glasgow have an opportunity. As I said, they really haven't got out of second gear in this second half, and all of a sudden find themselves 9 points down. So Hogg will be keen to get this down to the 22 and to try and build some momentum.
Ollie Kebble looking like he's in a little bit of difficulty. A loose head for Glasgow. Hogg finds the touchline this time.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed to lose Kebble if he does have to go off. He's been strong in the tight and carried well in the loose.
Harley got fingertips to it. Fasaro is tidying up. Glasgow have possession. Fraser Brown, really strong ball carrier, great acceleration. Frisbee, a little pop-up pass. Kebble at the back. Nice work. I was just about to say the handling has been pretty good in this game, and then there's an unforced error. advantage. The advantage is over as the call as Butler races away. Tackled on the 10-metre line. Clever little pop pass to McCabe coming on the burst. Referee shouting at Glasgow to release. They don't listen. Blade is tapped and taken quickly. Not sure that was the best decision. Were Glasgow back 10 metres? Referee's happy that they were. Oh, Kelleher's a little bit isolated here. Green shirts pile in, drive over the ball. Connacht in possession on halfway, looking to set something up again. Second half has been a little bit quieter. Carty sees a little bit of space. Hogg, quick to react, read the danger. Tries to spiral one away with the outside of the boot, but he hasn't got much distance on that. So a little kicking battle is a victory for Carty.
Yeah, and Carty actually was the initiator originally. It was his line speed that forced a turnover, and I think it's a set play from Connacht's defence this year. It seems that the third man in a defensive setup is taking a flyer on a lot of occasions, and what that does is the ball carrier has to make a decision and trying to come in, or does he go outside? If he goes outside, it's a bit more difficult pass because the defender is on him straight away. But it was Carty there doing the job there as a third defender and putting pressure and inevitably forcing the turnover.
Another change in the front row. Conor Carey coming on for Finlay Bealham. We got a huge ovation from the supporters on the far side. Alex Allen in for Kebble as well in the Glasgow front row. Glasgow successfully slowing the ball down. It's not coming out. Scrum to Connacht. Be happy enough with that decision, I think.
Yeah, it was fairly messy. I thought for a split second there, Ian Davis was going to give a penalty for Tom Farrell holding on, but he deemed it a fair contest on both sides, and the ball was unplayable, resulting in a Connacht scrum, and what an attacking position for Connacht to attack from now. Middle of the pitch, options both sides, in great conditions. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here. But for Glasgow, the clock's ticking now, and with less than 25 minutes to go, they need to find a spark from somewhere.
Yeah, it'll be a very big chase for Glasgow if they let Connacht get another score here. Connacht lead by 9.
And you have number 18 now, Conor Carey for Connacht, who's been a great addition. He's been there a year and a half now in Connacht Rugby, and has added some real competition for places with Finlay Bealham in a tight head position.
Boyle picks from the base. Blade comes to this right-hand side. Receives the pass back. Was that tackle a little bit high? It was over the shoulder. Penalty. Not really dangerous.
Yeah, it was a good read by Horn, but unfortunately his read was too high in the tackle, and resulting in a high tackle for the Connacht player.
I think in fairness, if you watch Blade, he dips the shoulder a little bit as well. Or maybe not. It looks a bit worse in slow motion.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's Hastings. But yeah, as I said initially, it was a great read. He saw Jack Carty was just doing a pass around the back of his shoulder. Knew that Blade was going to be the recipient, but unfortunately he was over eager and fell through. So
oh, is it going to be a yellow card? I think so. Well, maybe not. Yeah. Ian Davies, he has a hand in that card pocket.
Yeah. And I think the mitigating circumstances are, if a player ducks, then sometimes there's a bit of sympathy for the tackler. But in that occasion, Hastings was always in a high position, as Ian Davies points out, resulting in an inevitable yellow card for the Warriors, which puts their task in an even greater position now, harder position now with 10 minutes now on their creative number 10 in the sin bin.
Well, they have Peter Horn out there, who's pretty handy outside half in his own right. He can slot in there, but they're down to 14.
And quietly, Connacht have kept this board, the clock ticking away nicely. And all of a sudden, if Carty can make this penalty kick, they'll be getting quite a sizable advantage here against a 14-man opponent.
Carty taking plenty of time. Carty, can he maintain his perfect record? Absolute silence at the sports ground. Well, it's curling, but it's curling around the back of the posts. Not a great contact from Carty on that occasion.
Carty will be disappointed with that kick on his right foot, bending the ball in. But he's been kicking fairly well today, but unfortunately on that occasion he just didn't bring the ball around quick enough.
Matawalu tries the clever start. The ball bobbles around. Chance chip over the top for Eddie O'Locan to chase. Matawalu's back, completely misread it. Both appealing, and it's a Glasgow throw.
Yeah, you always look at players trying to force play, and you can't kind of question his merit there. But on that occasion, that was never on the kick, and it granted Connacht possession, and Glasgow were lucky to get the ball back in the 22.
Connacht Glasgow secure possession in that line out. There's Mauling in field. I'll give the kick clearance a better angle. They might get more out of it. Harley holding the ball at the back. Well, Quinrue has been asked to get out. Now the box kick from Frisbee. Eddie O'Locan underneath it. Kelleher, he's got great pace, great feet. Kelleher's away. What a beautiful break. Has support outside. Couldn't quite find it, but good improvisation from Godwin. What a break by Kelleher, though. The ball squirting around back there. Glasgow have it, but they're under pressure. 10 metres from their try line. And the Connacht crowd roaring their team on here. There's nothing like a break like that from Kelleher, who's gone to fullback.
Yeah, I found that a strange decision by Frisbee to box kick that ball from a driving maul. I mean, it's energy sapping stuff when you drive a maul 20-25 metres, and then for you then to ask your forward pack to get into a line and create a defensive line from that. And we saw what happened there. Cian Kelleher looked up. There was a huge gap in the midfield, and he just exploited it. Unfortunately, his pass to Tiernan O'Halloran wasn't quite at the level of his line break.
Well, Connacht trying the rolling maul tactic now. Getting a little bit of result out of it here. They're stopped again. Oh, the little grubber kick through. Which way will it bounce? Oh, Matawalu, you can't take your eye off this guy. And Killian Gallagher didn't swallow it up, the Fijian. So Glasgow still deep inside their 22 here. They have possession, though. Out half is in the sin bin, remember. Frisbee taking on a lot of the clearing kick duty.
Yeah, and Connacht there with a set play, knowing that that the Warriors were a player down in the backs. Jack Carty, set play, as I said, just dinked the ball forward, looking for Tom Farrell, the bounce of the ball for Tom Farrell. But it was great covering by Matawalu, and did fantastically well to negate the danger.
So good to watch, Nico Matawalu.
And inevitably now we're seeing with 18 minutes left on the clock, a couple of players going down injured now, and I'm not sure whether it's slight cramping or it is injuries, but it's Paul Boyle, the number 6 for Connacht, making his debut today. As we're looking in the crowd and see the likes of Bundy Eki, who I'm sure will be brought back into the Connacht fold after his restful summer on the back of a tour with Ireland. But what a great guy to come back in. But you know, I think Connacht this year are going to be very blessed in the centres in terms of competition. I think Carl Godwin today has gone about his business very, very well and partnered very well with Tom Farrell. So you know, there's 3 guys there, and if you bring in the likes of Owen Griffin and Peter Robb, Connacht seems to be pretty blessed in that respect.
There's not many settings as pretty as this one. Well, certainly when you see it bathed in autumn sunshine like this, all the players who are receiving attention are back in their feet. And Boyle straight back into the action, rising at the back of that line out to win possession or secure possession for Connacht. Well, the Mole going backwards a little bit, and then the ball squirts out. Blade has to retreat, takes control. Another little arm over the shoulder that time from Fraser Brown. Ian Davies well placed and shouted straight away it wasn't a high tackle. Well, has the ball gone loose there? Fraser Brown bridges over it very well, very quick to get in. And the referee gives the penalty to Glasgow.
Yeah, the detail was lacking somewhat there from a Connacht point of view, but a great turnover from Glasgow, and you know, with the clock ticking away, they need something to start clicking now for them. As Hogg kind of kicks the ball down to the 22 and finds a great kick.
Super kick from Hogg to within 5 metres. That's an absolute beauty. Well, he was disappointed with his last effort. But that's a cracker.
And on a warm day, there's nothing better from a forward's point of view than seeing the ball flying 40 metres, jogging forward onto it, and 5 metres from the goal line on an attacking line out.
Key moments now for both sides, really. Glasgow need to score. Just get the margin down to a single score. Connacht will know they're not really making great advantage of having the extra man here. It'll be a big blow to concede. Johnny Gray rises. There's a shout from the referee. Connacht have straight offside. Penalty coming. It's a free play for the visitors. Little grubber kick tried. Oh, what's happened here? There's a shout for the try.
Yeah, and to be fair to Ian Davis, he's been he's made it very clear in the offside line today, and he's given a couple of penalties for offside infringements from set piece on a few occasions, but very clear there. He was deeming number 18 Conor Carey and number 10 Jack Carty.
So the decision is to take a line-out throw again. They don't need to kick the ball back to touch for the penalty. Not sure they wouldn't be better to take their 3 points at this stage, but we'll find out in a moment. Glasgow set up the maul. Fraser Brown harrying it on the back. They're now getting some forward momentum here. Brown is over the line. Is he down? The ball is touched down. Brilliant try from Glasgow. Just what they needed. And they're down a man, remember.
And I think the reason that they were down a man really dictated what they were going to do there. But great patience actually by the forwards there. At one stage there I thought that the opportunity had escaped them. But that all goes down to the guys in the front of the maul there, just directing it left and right. And there was an opportunity right there where I thought it was going to split off. But you see there, the guy in the front there, I think it's one of the props who just come on, just straightened, left-hand shoulders, work with his partner on the right-hand side there, Johnny Gray, fighting for every inch, and they scored a fantastic try.
Yeah, great work. Adamash, the one who got over and touched it down. Well organised. They knew exactly where the ball was. They knew where to put the point of pressure. 8th try for Adamash, and what a time to get it. He reduces the margin to 4. Hogg with the conversion. Beauty from Hogg. The margin down to just 2. Well, that's a great bounce back by Glasgow.
It is, and as I said, you know, the maul there, when you're at the front of the maul there, all you can see is the grass in front of you down by your feet, and you're relying on your partner beside you in the communication to keep it straight. whether it be up on the left or up on the right, and they did fantastically well there to balance Ash to score under the behind the whitewash. And now all of a sudden Glasgow are back in the game.
Craig Ronaldson into the action. Adi Oloken got fingertips to it, but it's gone forward. Advantage Glasgow, but they have the ball. There's confirmation on your screen. Carty replaced by Ronaldson. Good clearance downfield. Cian Kelleher chasing back. The ball goes into the 22. Infield to Ronaldson. Well, the easier angle for the left-footed kicker. Hooked it a little bit though. He's found touch, but didn't get a lot of distance on it.
Yeah, Ronaldson will be disappointed with that. Usually he's a fairly accurate kicker from the ball in hand, but unfortunately on that occasion he hooked it, and it's given the opportunity to Glasgow again. And we talked about momentum changes earlier, and there's one could be potentially right there. All of a sudden, Glasgow 2 points down with an attacking line out, 15 metres into the Connacht half.
Glasgow have 4 tries, so a bonus point in the bag already. And again, effective in the maul. Glasgow not looking like a team who are short a man here. Oh, wisely keeping the ball. They have a full complement in the pack. Frisbee takes it now. Alex Dunbar. Tackle low. Frisbee comes back towards the pack into the hands of Alex Allen. His opposite number, Peter McCabe, makes the tackle. Glasgow just beginning to exert a bit of dominance in the game. Coming at the right time, 12 minutes to go, just 2 points between the sides.
And they're keeping it very tight. They just seem to be hitting pods of 3 up and forwards, and almost willing Connacht to make a penalty.
Oh, Hogg has a huge boot. He can kick from a long way out. Have they created the extra man here? Grigg, defence swept across. Grigg was tackled well. Brown, the substitute hooker, good carry from him. Connacht desperately rolling out of the way. They can't afford to go away a penalty. Fagerson, nice hands, got the ball on. And have Connacht got in to steal it here? No, clear out just in time. Glasgow into the 22. Marawalu calling instructions. Frisbee gets the pass away. Ball carrier not held in the tackle. Sneaks about 5 more metres. Hogg in the line. Marawalu now looking to accelerate into the tackle. Couldn't find a way through. Little pop pass to Harley. Has it created a bit of space? Harley's been working hard all through the game. They're appealing to the touch judge for something. The crowd aren't happy. This is good stuff from Glasgow, asking questions of the Connacht defence. Alex Allen with the carry once again. Frisbee going to move the ball a bit, but Glasgow wisely keeping it tight. Hogg is waiting at standoff here, but Brown steps up to take control. Oh, it's patient, clever play.
Both sets of packs are almost walking at this stage. They're so tired of the phase 19 in this heat.
Marawalu, what can he do? That's always going to be a little bit of magic, you think. Energy sapping stuff. It'll be such a big moment in this game. Whether a score comes from this passage or play. Frisbee doing his best to make sure the referee sees the Connacht player who's in the offside position. Referee just asked him to stay still. Glasgow still with the ball though. Phase 24. Oh, the ball carrier a little bit isolated here. Good strength to get the right side of the ball. Move to Hogg. Seymour, mazy run back infield. Well, Adam Hastings has been waiting to come on for a long time. Still, Glasgow asked the questions. Have they created the extra man here? Hogg tries to throw the pass out of the back of the hand. It's a way to touch, and it brings a huge cheer of relief from the Connacht supporters. Brilliant, brilliant play by both sides. As you say, maybe at walking pace, but some concentration, Michael.
Well, and I'm tired just even watching that phase of sets of play. I think 28, 29 sets of phases. To be fair to Glasgow, they had a lot of patience. It was slow. Then now and again they injected a bit of pace with the likes of Matawalu. But the Connacht defence held strong, and they were pretty efficient now and not being able to get away any penalties. And in the end, Hogg was probably guilty of just forcing it too much, knowing that nothing was going to come for it with the pass out the back door. And unfortunately for the Warriors, it went straight into touch.
Conor Carey receiving some attentions. Adam Hastings back into the action after his sin bin. Probably stretched well past his 10 minutes.
Yeah, you know, even though the Warriors were attacking a couple of times with the forwards carrying it up, the minute that the backs were kind of brought into play, you could see the injection of pace, how much more difficult it is from a Connacht point of view to defend. So I kind of would have liked, from the Warriors point of view, for the backs to have got maybe a little bit more involved in that phase there. 28 phases, and I'd hazard a guess that 3/4 of them were through the forwards, and there's only so many times you can ask a forward to go to the well and carry a ball. So the likes of Matawalu, you know, coming off frisbee inside passes when the fringe defence at Connacht might be a little bit tired, might be something that they could look at.
Darcy Ray has come in for Fagerson. Fagerson had a huge game. Connacht secure possession from that line out. Blade back to Ronaldson. Not sure that was intention. He's got right under that one. Connacht chase has been knocked on. Still a blue advantage. Well, kind of lateral knock on, but the referee was right in line. Here comes Hogg. Look at those dancing feet. Now the little slip past. Brilliant work. Seymour coming back in field. Connacht seem to have just eased up a little bit in this game. They've picked the wrong time to do it. And there's a little bit more of a zip in the Glasgow players. He sense Connacht are maybe tiring. Frisbee tries to change direction.
That's great refereeing by Ian Davis there, realising that the Glasgow were trying to manufacture a penalty decision there.
The ball is there for Glasgow. Frisbee has a look, comes to the left-hand side once again. Slower ball for Glasgow. Frisbee looks right, then comes to the left-hand side to Alex Allen. Oh, how tiring is this? Oh, big tackle comes in. High tackle on Hastings.
Yeah, I think that's a high tackle by McCabe. A tired tackle.
Free drop goal attempt from Hogg. And it's good. What about that from Stuart Hogg?
Well, in the last 2 minutes, you've just seen the world-class talent of that Stuart Hogg. All started off in his own kind of half with 3 absolutely sumptuous side steps off his left foot against a tired Connacht defence. And in there, even though albeit no pressure, knowing that the penalty was coming, he absolutely nailed a drop goal there from 30 metres out. And it's put Glasgow in the lead, and you have to say on the balance of play in the last 15 minutes, it's the least they deserve.
What have Connacht got left in the tank here? They go short with the restart. They get up and they've won it. It's gone forward. Off at Glasgow hand advantage to Connacht. Just a single point between them. Just over 6 minutes to go in the game. Heffernan, great burst from him. Low tackle comes in, scything tackle on Quinn Rue. Goodwin on to Farrell. McCabe looking to burst a little hole in the defence. Quinn Rue, lovely pop-up from Quinn Rue. Heffernan in support. Falls spectacularly, but presents the ball well. Blade gets it away. Ronaldson. Oh, he was just caught in possession. Have Glasgow managed to turn it over here? Whistle blows. It's gone forward off a blue hand. Relief for Connacht to continue this attack with a scrummage.
Yeah, a great response from Connacht and the likes of Dave Heffernan and Quinn Rue, giving a lovely offload to Dave Heffernan, who's been very impressive in the loose today. But a tight call there. Ian Davis just staying there. It was a fair competition, and then he just went off his feet after knocking the ball on. But before that, he was eligible to go for the ball. So just a forward, a knock on, and resulting in a scrum for Connacht.
Quaylen Blade heads to the side. James Mitchell on in his place. Dave Heffernan as well. A well-deserved rest. An incredible 75 minutes from him at hooker.
Absolutely, and for Dave Heffernan, capped for Ireland. Last year probably didn't go as well as he had hoped. A couple of injuries, but also with Shane Delahunt kind of forcing his way into the starting lineup a lot. And at the end of last season was probably first choice. And then you throw into the mix Tom McCartney as well. You've got three hookers there who on any day can serve a great purpose for Connacht. But Shane Delahunt now, I'm sure he would have been itching to get on the pitch and hoping to have started the game. So we'll see what kind of impact he brings to Connacht.
Play will restart. Scrummage to Connacht. 5-6 metres outside the 22. A little bit more than 15 metres in from the far touchline. First bit of the action for James Mitchell.
And if you're Connacht now, you're probably thinking with 5 minutes on the clock, probably similar to how Glasgow have approached the game in the last 10 minutes. I can't see them being too adventurous. A couple of hit-ups from forwards and try and manipulate a penalty from somewhere.
Well, Glasgow have been generous enough in that so far in the game, but when it's tight like this, the concentration may be raised considerably. Glasgow have won, of course, on the opening day of the season here in the last 2 years. Looking to make that a hat-trick. Oh, front row goes down, penalty Glasgow.
Yeah, and Conor Kerry was always going to be in trouble there. Just looked at his pre-bind, he was overextending from the impact, and unfortunately if you overextend, your knees are too far back and there's just not enough ballast to keep you upright. And unfortunately for Connacht, in a great position, they've given a penalty away.
Glasgow in no hurry to take this, obviously. There's the penalties. Connacht conceding 11, Glasgow 15. Neither coach and ticket will be happy with those numbers.
No, and in modern rugby now, you're always trying to keep your penalty count in single figures. And as I said, both defensive coaches will be disappointed with those numbers today. But now, from a Glasgow point of view, as you see them walking to the line out, I can't see this going very far from the forwards' hands here. The maul so far has gone particularly well for them, so I can see this being tucked up the jumper and trying to manipulate another soft penalty.
Ian Davies stops the clock until the ball is thrown in, losing a little bit of patience with Glasgow, but not enough to award a free kick to Connacht. And here's the maul. Glasgow are edging towards that touchline, but well in control. Frisbee takes it from Brown. Dunbar flat on the gain line. There's a little pick and go, the ball there again. Adam Ash picks and drives forward. Harley lending some weight. A ball very well protected. Fraser Brown acting as the scrum half. Oh, can Glasgow manage to wind the clock down from here? Can they force a penalty and get the lead out beyond 3 points? Well, they go back to Stuart Hogg. He might fancy a drop goal attempt from a long way.
It's asking a lot for the forwards just to keep hold of retain the possession for 3 minutes, so I think you could be right there.
Well, Hogg is getting into that position in the pocket. And he's standing in his own half. If he's going to have a go from there, it's going to be some smack. Well, they go to Hastings, who tries the crossfield kick. Well, possession back to Connacht. What can Kelleher do? We saw a little bit of magic from him. just couldn't find the pass after a brilliant break. That might have sealed the victory for Connacht.
Yeah, that was poor communication by Hastings. His winger had absolutely no idea that he was kicking the ball there.
Oh, McCabe tackled just inside his own half. Mitchell goes down the narrow side. Healy was at first receiver. Butler, the captain, carries on about 5 metres, then tackled. Mitchell rips the ball out. Boyle moving it on. Rob Harley up to make an important tackle, hasn't rolled away. Referee saying they're onside, it's okay. Connacht managed to hold on to possession. A little bit of pace put into it now. Delahunt away to Adio Lucan. What a tackle. Adio Lucan managed to get it free, but it off the boot, bobbles into touch.
Yeah, that was a great cover tackle there by Alex Dunbar. You thought for a split second there with the pace of Adio Lucan he was away. But a great read by Dunbar, knowing that the ball was going out wide, and just made that final effort to get out and make the tackle. But for Connacht now, they'll be trying to put as much pressure on this line out, on Glasgow line out as possible, knowing that it's most probably going to be thrown to the middle or the front.
Oh, looks like Chris Fasaro's heading to the side. Substitute flanker. Ryan Wilson coming back on. Two very tired legs. There's Fasaro, just a blood substitution.
And they have two scrum halves at the moment, Glasgow do. And Ryan Wilson's been ushered out, and then Gibbons has been put into scrum half, so it's going to be a maul.
Well, they haven't found their man. Delahunt at the back of the line. Butler took the pass on the first bounce. Mitchell having a look at his options. Adio Lucan coming back wide to this right-hand side. And the clock ticking on. We're into the final minute of normal time here. Oh, who's got the most energy? Who's got the most oxygen getting to the brains? One mistake here is going to cost the match for one side or the other. Delan tackled hard as he receives the ball, driven backwards. Connacht almost pushed back to the 10-metre line in the Glasgow half. Ronaldson is in the pocket, but it's a long, long way out for a drop goal attempt. Mitchell has a look at him. Back they go to Ronaldson for the drop goal attempt. Oh, he's miles away, never really got underneath it. Into the hands of Hogg. Well, he's carried the ball back into his in-goal area. Touches down.
And we're at 80 minutes on the clock, but it has to make the play. And Glasgow will be sighing a big sigh of relief there. That all came about from a miscommunication in the line-out. But if the game finishes this score, they won't matter one iota.
Well, the clock has ticked past 80 minutes. Final play.
And he can't kick it straight into touch, which is a blessing for Connacht.
Well, he finds a bit of grass deep. Last throw of the dice for the Connacht men. Kelleher stopped just short of the 10-metre line. Quinrue dips the shoulder. Have to be full concentration from Connacht now. Well, Glasgow sitting nicely. Is there a little bit of space? Oh, lovely feet. Farrell, Goodwin coming in support. Penalty to Connacht. Well, it's a long, long way out.
It was a lovely swivel of hips by Tom Farrell to make the break, but I think this could be too far for Craig Ronaldson to kick, and they have to think with their head here.
Well, it's the easier side for Craig Ronaldson. He doesn't hesitate, points at the posts. It's all on the shoulders of the substitute outside half.
Well, to be fair to Ronaldson there was no second thinking. He was confident, and immediately he pointed to the post. Didn't even need to look at Jared Butler there for his captain's guidance, and it all comes down to this. But just on that last play with Stuart Hogg, I think he was looking to run the clock down. But maybe he might be in best to have taken the ball up, bring it into midfield, resource the ruck, and then kick it into touch, and the game would have been dead. But the way he did it, he put the ball down, which resulted in a 22, and the kick had to stay in touch. That gave Connacht the opportunity.
So Ronaldson, 370 points, 307 points in his Connacht career. After 81 minutes of fantastic rugby and beautiful sunshine, it comes down to this. Halfway between the 10-metre line and the halfway line. Crowd silent. It's got the it's got the line. It doesn't. Oh, it just had enough off the outside of the post. It's kicked over the end line. Ronaldson can't believe it. It looked good most of the way. The players shake hands. It's been a terrific game of rugby, Michael.
It really has. And Ronaldson there, he had the distance, but unfortunately for Connacht, it was just to the left of the post and hit the post and game over. But as round one games go, very, very entertaining as we see the kick again.
Yeah, no difficulty with the distance, just the outside of the post. There's the reaction of the men on the bench. They can't believe it.
And Glasgow will be absolutely delighted with the victory. And if you're looking at it, a very unlike Glasgow win, really. Instead of the free-flowing rugby that they're being accustomed to in recent years, it was very much a game won by the pack up front, with 2 tries in the first half scored by them, and then with glimpses and sparkles of magic from the likes of Stuart Hogg.
Full-time score, Connacht 26, Glasgow 27. 4 tries for Glasgow, so they get the 4-try bonus point as well. It's 5 points on the league table for them, 1 for Connacht, 1 losing bonus point. They deserve more than that, Michael.
Yeah, it was a strange game from Connacht's point of view. Some fantastic stuff, but a lot of unforced errors, and just a final pass on a couple of occasions didn't go to hand. A couple of crucial penalties, and in the second half there, they kind of switched off the pedal, and unfortunately for them, gave away a few penalties. Glasgow got a sniff, held the ball on particularly well, and scored a couple of tries and deserved winners. But for Connacht now, they have a couple of home games coming up, the likes of Zebre and Scarlets, and we'll be hoping to try and make the most of it.
Well, the Connacht players dejected. They gave everything there today. Difficult in the heat, but the conditions perfect for rugby otherwise. 6 tries. Glasgow, they stuck at it right to the end. They looked like they might have been beaten. There's Fasaro showing how much of the wars he's been in, covered in blood. But 2 sides gave everything out there. A very, very entertaining game, but Connacht the ones disappointed. Glasgow will be absolutely delighted to come away with 5 points here. There were 9 points behind, 6 down at half-time. Connacht only scored 3 points in that second half, a single penalty from Carty.
And that's the difference. And you see the Glasgow pack going through there, and the likes of George Turner, who had an absolute stormer, and Oliver Kebble, who carried well and did fantastic in the tight. To take a bow, lads, because those guys really gave them the front foot.
Stuart, great
Hogg.
result for you. A bit tense at the end. How did you find it?
Cracking game. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Our boys worked incredibly hard. We didn't make it easy for ourselves at times, and a bit credit to the boys. We dug deep and got that result.
Got on the end of a lovely drop goal as well. Could you talk us through that yourself?
Yeah, I've practiced about 1 million times, and Wilson will be able to tell you I've never ever got them in training. So, I just saw it as a wee opportunity. It was a kind of shot to nothing really, but as I say, the boys got me into that position to get that over, and I'm chuffed to bits that we're going away with a win.
Look, it was a key score, and you were nominated as man of the match, and here to present is Ray Sheehan of Guinness. Ryan, obviously the result that you've wanted. You started really well last season and went on a run. How important is this win away on the road?
Yeah, it's huge. We've had a tough pre-season, and I don't know. Look, there's been some stuff said in the press about the squad that we've got this year, but it just shows we've got a team that will dig deep. It wasn't pretty. It certainly wasn't easy, but we got the result there, and that's all we came for.
You talk about character in the team, and with some new young faces coming in, that's really important to you. But the disappointment maybe of last year, is that a driving force for you as well this year?
Yeah, certainly. There's a lot of gutted boys, and listen, we're probably stronger for that. But again, I'm just chuffed with the effort the boys put in today. We're not used to this sunshine, so it was hot out there, but we did well to win that one.
Going forward, what are the obstacles you see, and who are the strong teams that you're going to face going into this competition?
Oh, listen, everyone's strong. Connacht, they showed you today that they're a strong team as well. You've got your Leinsters, your Scarlets right up there playing well, and we've got a tough game at home next week against Munster. So, you know, it's there's no easy games anymore in this league. So it's going to be a tough one, but looking forward to the battle ahead.
Going forward, what is the goal for the team within this competition? Where do you see yourselves?
Win it. We're here to win it.
Okay, we wish you all the best. Thanks for talking to us. Cheers.
Cheers, Ray. Cheers, fellas.
Thank you very much. Sorry about this rest.
Forward to seeing the return of a world-class British and Irish Lion, but he ain't gonna make it. He's out. He'll be replaced by Stephen Hughes in the centre. Stephen Hughes wasn't actually even meant to be on the bench, but he travelled, and good job he did because he's in. Here's the Ulster side. Marcel Coetzee will be targeting those centres, no doubt. Great to see him back. He again has had a terrible time through injury. Henry Spate is also starting, a debut for Ulster, and that's Billy Burns. Is he the man to take over Ulster's number 10 position? Will he be Ulster's new fly half? He certainly is today. Johnny McPhillips not on the bench, so a lot expected from Billy Burns. So it's Ulster against Scarlets, live here in Belfast from the Kingspan Stadium. Well, so many different